securing the Little Brown Jug. The Wolverines now move to a Saturday night national championship rematch in Seattle. Welcome in on a Monday. Former Wolverine Jim Scarcelli joining the Maize and Blue review like he always does on a Monday. And lots to talk about with Michigan surviving a 27-24 outcome at the Big House a couple days ago, Scar. And, here we are ready to talk about the Maize and Blue. How are you?
Hey, Denny, I'm fired up. I'm confident. It's hard to get a football team ready to go every week and have a great game plan and have, everybody play well. You play a Big Ten football team, you play in the rain, Denny. It doesn't, it's a gloomy, wet, nasty day, and you find a way to win. But, look what's going on in Washington. They lose to Washington State. They lose to Rutgers. You got Ole Miss, the Lane Train. He lost at home. We're finding a way to win. You don't always win pretty. Just keep the faith. I'm hoping our coaches get some more stuff offensively. We're going to dig in. Denny, I'm keeping the faith, man.
Well, Sharon Moore, you sound a little bit like Sharon Moore today, just about an hour or so ago. He said, they're striving to get better, that it's really a joy to win. They're not satisfied, but you got to remember that it is really hard to win ball games. And so they're happy to get a win, but they're not satisfied. And, they're striving to get better. And as far as the second halves go, he chalked it up, to execution. He wants to see them execute at a higher level. Now that's it. He was asked about the wide receivers and them getting open. We've talked about route detail and, with Alex Orji, there were a lot of things that he liked. And then, obviously the interception was not something that he liked, but they're not scrapping the entire game plan with what they had with him going. I mean, he ends up finding Loveland or Donovan Edwards out of the backfield and they score a touchdown. It's probably a different conversation that we're having today. It's like, wow, man, the kid made a bunch of steps forward. And, that wasn't the case, Scar. It was he made some nice steps forward, but then, a couple steps back too. And so you're sitting there with, at the quarterback position, wondering if in the second half of the season or even just this Saturday, when this thing might, turn to a pumpkin.
Yeah, Danny, listen, I see things a little differently offensively. I see guys that are, we're executing pretty good. The problem, I watch Alabama play Saturday night, and they got a quarterback, maybe a little quicker than our guy, but similar kind of deal. Not the best passer, but a good passer. And they run a ton of empty. I was listening to Saban talking about Alabama's offense. They run a ton of empty, quarterback draw, quarterback ISO, I've been calling for it. It's not just about execution.
With Milroe there, when they go empty, they don't have anybody in the middle there. He's just shooting up the middle.
That's right. Denny, you don't think we can do those things with our guy?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't go one back or empty, give them some jet motion, put Loveland in the game, split them out, have one tight end in close. You can have a back in the game. You can bring them in. There's spreading the field against Alex Orji is not something I want to defend. And I think I would look at what the things that Alabama was doing, and we got an old Michigan guy over there coaching that offensive coordinator there, Nick Sheridan. I know his old man, Bill, from way back, but he did a great job with Alabama there. Empty, jet, quarterback keep. And Urban Meyer talked about this, Denny. You're going to think I'm crazy because this is the thing I talked about before we started our season. And he said this Saturday. I listen to Urban. I like listening to Saban. Urban said Michigan should use two quarterbacks. He said, there's nothing wrong with that. And having a heavy package of, whatever. But that's what Urban said. Now, he's not trying to, sabotage Michigan. But there's some sense to that, in my opinion. There is some sense to it because I don't know how much our pass game what kind of a factor is it these last two games? But that's kind of some of the stuff I'm seeing on offense that we just got to find it. It's not just about execution, because I'm going to look at the film and see some things that we block people pretty good. They're putting 9 dudes in the box, 8 guys in the box in certain formations. So
yeah, I'd love to ask Urban Meyer. I'd say, Urban, I know it worked out for you at Florida, but you had one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and Tim Tebow, and a kid that ended up winning the national championship in Leak. So a little different when you're talking about, let's put Davis Warren, who, as soon as he gets a pass rush in his face, folds down, throws the ball, to the other team, and Alex Orji, who, we're going to compare him to Tim Tebow here. Alex Orji, he's only he's only started 2 games here, so I don't know. Okay, let's put the Florida offense in. Let's run both of them.
Listen, we don't have any other options, and I'm just telling you what he said. And the guy's no idiot.
I hear you.
The guy is no idiot, and I understand it. If I had to prepare a game plan for Michigan, and it's just Orji all day, all game, or it's just Davis Warren all game, those are a little simpler to figure out. But if I know I might get both. And I know I got all the passing games. Listen, neither of them have been great. No. But I'm just telling you, there's some validity, in my opinion, to what he said. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm glad you're telling us what you think. I'm just,
so you disagree with that you think it makes no sense at all from that standpoint.
Yeah, not any sense at all. I mean, I'm going to go back to spring. I know they had to lie to the guys and tell them, look, we got to tell these guys that the competition's open and everything. But, so nobody just goes out there and transfers. But they should have been behind the scenes saying, look, we've got an all-run quarterback who, is struggling in the passing game. And then we got Davis Warren. We got to figure out if this guy can stand up and keep his head up when the pass rush is coming out. I don't think they did that. So they went into training camp, and I get it. Let's see how they improve in the summer. But then they dilly-dallied too much in training camp. You had to pick a guy, especially when – it's not just a quarterback to me. This offensive line, the entire offense, brand new, all of them, except Loveland. And half the time in practice, they're expected to be pass blocking. They shouldn't have been running the same offense for both of these guys. They should have picked one and then catered the offense and practiced that offense. I think it's nothing against you or Urban Meyer or everybody that coached and played. But I got to say, looking at it, it's a little bit overrated talking about, having both of these guys in there because it's going to be a little bit more difficult to prepare. I would rather have the majority of the snaps going to the starter, a first-time starter, so he gets that experience. The entire offense has the experience, and he also just feels like he's got not just the motivation, but he has that confidence and everybody around him as well. Not, some coy thing. Let's, that they got to deal with some of their practice stuff. I think that's going to be a little bit overrated in my book.
All right. Anyway, I'm calling for more empty. I'm calling for one back.
Like that.
I'm calling for quarterback. I said it last week. I still didn't see it. I want to just comment real quick on Dave Portnoy. Listen, he's a Michigan grad. I love it. You love Michigan. I love Michigan. We all love Michigan. Okay. But you know what? To come out, Denny, during the middle of the season and say he's got $3 million for a quarterback, that doesn't help us out. Okay, that doesn't help us right now. We're not bringing a guy in. Okay, it's a self-promotional move that all it does is create division. Okay, it doesn't do nothing. Doesn't do nothing for us now. So what I would say to Dave Portnoy, go call Ward Manuel when the season's over, show up with $3 million and say, go get me a quarterback. Do it in private, but doing it now doesn't help our football. It doesn't help our current football team at all. It's just a self-promotional move. So that's that. Had to say it. Here's a comment from Mark Scar. Did Orji set up the run fakes properly? Didn't look like Minnesota bit. And, we're going to look at the film. And it's amazing how sometimes they don't. Sometimes they honor him. You're going to see some. I think one of our touchdowns was, again, they're honoring Alex when he's in the game on the quarterback keep. So he is a factor. Just handing the ball off, his presence is a factor.
I love it. I like where you're at. Scar $3 million is going to get you a second stringer, So
I hope we get more than that now. Well, we'll see when the season's over what these guys do. But
there's two sides to that. I don't know how quickly I can say it. To me, Michigan's core value under Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore is kind of a chip off the old block here when it comes to philosophy and his mentor in Jim Harbaugh. And their core value is we don't want guys that are just looking for the bag. And Michigan fans echo it. It's not all about getting the bag. If guys are talking about money, we're looking for someone else. Well, the game is changing. These guys are pros now, and they're looking to get compensation for what they're worth. And that transfer portal, those guys are going to be looking for the bag, and how Michigan adapts to that and how their strategy of, okay, well, they've got the bag man out there with $3 million. Are they going to say, okay, this kid's a good quarterback. He just wants his, fair compensation. Does that mean, he's a bad kid, or should we be jumping in? And I know on the other side, the other side is, look, we want guys that fit our profile. They want to be here. We've got a litany of players that we can go down the list that weren't talking about a bag. Josiah Stewart, ended up, there were probably 5 guys, probably 100 guys that were looking for money before Josiah Stewart, even in the transfer portal. And, and Michigan picked out a gem there. I don't know if they can still rely on that. It's, but those are my thoughts when it comes down to that.
Danny, I think Michigan is compensating guys. Okay, I don't think
they are. But are they ready to jump in?
We don't know. We haven't made it public, but I think we're compensating guys because our guys aren't packing their bags. They're not.
We're all agree with that.
Josiah Stewart had a lot of opportunities to go get paid other places.
Oscar, all the guys on the team, they got taken care of. NIL, I'm talking about in recruiting, and then now coming up in the transfer portal, if you're looking for a hot shot, one of the top 5 or top 10, whatever Michigan's list is, these guys are going to want money. And is Michigan, if the first thing they say is, well, what kind of money are we talking? If Michigan's going to be like, well, we don't want you because you're.
Okay, I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either.
Yeah, so I think people are out there assuming that Sharon Moore doesn't have a bankroll. Okay, I don't know the answer to that. I think he does have a bankroll, but my point about Portney was it doesn't do us any good now.
I agree with that.
Tell you what, Dave,
you hit it. It was self-promotion. There's no doubt about it.
It's a self-promotional move. Here's what you do, Dave. When the season's over, you go see Sharon Moore. Say, I'm going to endow a quarterback. It's going to be the Portnoy quarterback. NIL. I'm the guy, so we don't get outbid. Okay, so he can do that then after the season, but it doesn't do nothing now.
We'll put a picture of Miss Peaches, his dog, on the quarterback room. Yeah, I'm with you there. Good.
Let's get into some other, just some general thoughts about what I'm seeing offensively. I think our offensive line is playing pretty decent, Denny. It's interesting though how the narrative is, all of a sudden we're struggling moving the ball. Like people want to blame the offensive line. It's about the whole. Listen, an offense is effective and productive based on all things, man. Scheme, quarterback play, accuracy, receivers, running backs, the whole deal, the motions, the shifts. Okay, and I think our line's playing pretty good. So I'm not going to sit here and beat up the line. We need an overall productive, difficult to defend offense, and we're not there yet. I'm hoping we can get there. So I just want to point that out because I hear people beating up our offensive line. I ain't one of them.
Me neither.
All right. I'm going to talk about some position groups. Our center play is just getting better. Those guys are fine. I think Preeb and Gio continue to get better. I thought they played well. Link, couple mistakes. Hinton is a mean, tough kid. A lot of good things I see from him. It was great to see 17, the big fella, tight end, back in the game. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Klein.
He's a factor. He's he's a Michigan tight end, man. That kid is a blocker. He's a receiver. Loveland's banged up, but he's playing. He's going to be a detached tight end, Danny. I don't see they're going to see him moving in, blocking guys until he gets healthy. But we can still use him, spreading them out. 83 and 80, Marshall, and then the freshman, 80. They got a lot of clock, Danny. and they're backside guys. They don't have them at a point of attack, but they're getting clock at tight end. What's his name? Hogan, 80?
Hogan, yeah, Hanson.
Him and Marshall got some clock, and they got to get better. They got to get bigger, but they're in there because of injuries. I think our receivers they are what they are. They're kind of average, but our running backs are securing the football, and I think our quarterback play. I think we have to help again. I'm not seeing. I want to see some spread stuff to get that kid in space and run him, make him defend that like Alabama does. Man, this kid, our guy, can do those things. We want to stay in tight ends, and sometimes it's better to spread this kid out and get him in space. Our kicker's a stud. So that's some of the stuff I got on offense. Danny, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about a lot of times, like I'm watching it and I'm thinking that the offensive coordinator, Kirk Campbell's probably a little handcuffed because Orchie can't really stand in the pocket and throw the ball down the field. You only can throw maybe a little 10-yard out, little dump passes. He's pretty nice at those, but he did start doing a little bit more. They tried to give him a little bit. And then, of course, when he made that nice progression, that same series is the one that he threw the interception. So, it continues to be, put a sign out there, work in progress when it comes to the offense. But I'm with you, man. Watching Alabama and watching Milroe and watching Lamar Jackson last night, I'm just thinking the one time Lamar Jackson, they went empty and Chris Collinsworth's like, ho, 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 you can't do that. He's just going to take a free 10 up the middle. And I'm like, whoa, free 10 up the middle. I mean, it's solid there, plain as day. Oh, this guy, Lamar Jackson, he'll just take off up the middle when they go empty.
Yeah, that's my worst nightmare. If I'm defending Michigan, that's like one of my worst nightmares would be if they got empty. Even though I know he can throw the ball deep real well, I still have to honor it. So, anyway, I'm calling for it. I'm hoping we see it. Denny, defensively. 55, 78, 26 studs. Those guys are solid in there.
Yeah, I like those.
Ike is getting better. He got some more clock. They're playing Pearson there, 95, right? Pierce is 95.
Yes, Trey Pierce, yep.
They're not playing Eno Eto hardly at all. So I don't know what's going on with Eno Eto if he's not developing like they want. But Ike and Pierce, I was happy. Obviously Josiah Stewart must have got banged up against USC. So when they start, TJ Guy played really well. He's a tough, athletic kid. I understand why they're fired up for him. He did some good things. He rushes the quarterback, and he's going to be good, man. He's a solid backup. 91, Brandt is coming, getting better. We only play 3 linebackers, 1, 15, and 30, and they're all good. I just don't. They don't believe in playing the 4th one. It's kind of discouraging. You'd like to see them play. I'd like to see them play the 4th guy because that's what we had last year. We had 4 that we rotated. I think it made us better. I think we have a lot of secondary guys that are rotating in, and that situation is good. Any thoughts on defense, Denny? That's why I see it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think there were a lot of people that when they went to the tempo, they thought that wore down Michigan. If you really look at it, they got into the third quarter. It's something that you said last year when I said, hey, how about some halftime adjustments? You said it's always adjustments. I mean, you're always adjusting, and it wasn't a lack of a halftime adjustment because Minnesota went 3 and out on their first drive of the third quarter. It was they got a short field, Orgy threw the interception. They got they got the ball down to the 15 with a punt return. I mean, that's not really on the defense. I think the defense, I know they gave up some big runs against USC, but they played great in the first half against USC on defense, and they closed out the game, which is no small thing. And overall, I thought they played well. They got put in a spot. Maybe the tempo, Minnesota did get a couple drives in there and obviously punched it in, but a lot of that had to do with field position. I feel good about the defense overall. I think
yes, I do. I mean, God, we stripped the ball, gave it to the offense on the 25, and then we picked one off. So those are 2 turnovers. And listen, our defense. But Denny, I'm gonna tell you, I see it like this. I look at the next games on our schedule. We can't give Washington 20 points. I don't think we can. We're gonna go there. It's gonna be loud and nasty. I played in that stadium. It's gonna be loud and tough. And he's going to make his first start, and we can't give him more than 20. And I think that's the way it's going to go for the good part of this year. because until we start scoring some more points. Well, let's talk about Washington real quick. They got this kid's been around. He's probably started, 60 games. He was at Mississippi State, played a lot of football. He's an accurate kid. He's not the most athletic. They'll also play a little freshman in there who's real fast. So they play two quarterbacks, Denny. They do it, and they do a good job with it. And I know it's a problem when I watch what they do. They play a little fast guy. They'll throw it a little bit with them, too. It's the same thing that Urban was talking about. They got the slow guy, the accurate guy, and then they got the fast guy. And we're going to have to defend both of them. So that's what's going on over there.
Yeah, I would mention TJ Guy showed up today. He was asked about the Washington offense, and he talked about you. And they also said that he likes the running back. He looked pretty good.
He's a tough kid. They got a good run. Listen, Jed Fish is, he worked under Harbaugh a little bit. He wants to run the ball, man. He's going to run. He's going to have a physicalness. They're overall, they have a complex offense. They do a little bit of everything, but they want to run it too. They'll come out in eye backs. They got it in the game plan. So you got Giles, the former Michigan kid there. He's probably their top receiver.
Giles Jackson.
So, this place, again, it's going to be loud. Those fans are pissed off at Jed now. They've got 2 losses. I talked about that. They moved the ball all over Rutgers, but they didn't score touchdowns. And, they flew 3,000 miles. Rutgers is a good team, but they didn't score a lot of field goals. But they want to run it. It's a versatile offense. Their defense, it's got some pretty good players. You got Belichick running the defense. Belichick's kid. They do a lot of stuff. The old man was all over the place. You don't know what he's going to show up with one week to the next. So big thing, Denny, we got to do there is, number one, secure the darn football. We secure the football, we're going to have but this game is a pick'em game, man. The bookies got it like 1 point.
The lines moved into Washington's favor big time.
Yeah, people don't have faith in Michigan. Michigan was the favorite initially.
I'm going to check this. I think Washington's up to a field goal favorite now. When Michigan was, yeah, that's what at least some of the you can't trust the media. But those are some of the media guys. Yeah. I didn't see that actually myself. So
listen, man, we secure the football. Have some good scheme. Not be afraid to run our quarterback, because we're going to defend this team. We're going to defend them. So anyway. Yeah, I feel good about it, but the line is. I told you when the season started, I thought this game would be the most difficult, even before USC when I saw. But it's going to be every bit as difficult to win as USC. I'll tell you that right now.
I guess chalk it up for the dishonest media. Those guys were correct. It is now a 3-point line with the Huskies being the favorite.
Danny, I'm going to make a quick run through of the Big Ten, some other teams that we're going to face. Indiana is everything I keep talking about. The guy's a stud. He's a great hell of a coach, and they keep winning. They're undefeated. Hoosiers, you talk about leadership, it matters. You get the right coach, the right quarterback, it matters. The guy's winning, and he's tough, and they're good in all phases.
Especially offense.
What's that?
Especially offense.
The guy's a hell of a coach, man. He's got his team playing hard. They play smart. He went out and got a quarterback. The guy's a hell of a coach. That's a game. Listen, we got to go there. That's going to be a freaking 2-3 point game too. Just like going to Washington.
2-3 point
game. I'm telling you right now, man. There ain't no lamb chops on the schedule. Everybody we got to face now. MSU is capable. Now, Ohio State looked unbelievable. I'm glad we got 6 more games to get ready for them, because we ain't ready to face them this week. But they looked really, really good. That Ohio State team, they're good in all phases. But Michigan State is capable. That the quarterback will make mistakes though. Talked about it. Illinois gave Penn State a game. Then they play stupid for a while. But Illinois don't have the talent to compete with Penn State and some of these guys. But they got a quarterback, and Bielema is a hell of a coach. That game's going to be tough because of Bielema and the quarterback. That's why going to Illinois will be tough. We got better players than them in a lot of positions, but Illinois will be tough. Oregon is everything we thought they were. They crushed UCLA. So That's the rest of our schedule. But you're right, Michael. One game at a time. Let's get better every week. That's all we can do is focus on Washington and getting better. I mean, that's what the coaches are telling her. That's what I'm believing as a coach. We just got to keep getting better. We got to get better every week. We can't just win. Got a lot of guys that got to get better. Our coaches got to get better on offense, man.
Agreed.
Open it up, spread it out, make this kid play in space, run the quarterback.
Yeah, for me, I believe you that these games are going to be. I think this game's going to be tight. I think the Illinois game's going to be tight. I don't know. Michigan State, I know it's a rivalry game. Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State. So I usually say, hey, the coaches have to take them one at a time. I'll take them all. But I'm taking this one at a time because you get a bye week afterwards, and it's the midway point of the season. So then just be happy. I'm going to just be happy until, I don't have to be, or I'm forced not to be. And so looking at that back half of the schedule, it's not making me, so happy. So I'm just going to focus in on this game at Saturday night and then, hopefully a nice little bye week to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, that would be great, man. One game at a time. We got to go 3,000 miles, Danny. I made that trip. I remember playing out there. And that's where I first saw we first saw the wave. Remember the Tigers were doing it in 84? Well, 1983, I remember playing there and they were doing the wave in 83. And then all them Michigan fans were out there. We brought it to Tiger Stadium. But it's going to be loud and hostile. And it'll be the first time for a lot of these young offensive guys that are playing with noise. So
no doubt, the plane ride back home is going to be really lit or really quiet. So it's a long ride home.
Yeah,
you got to be quiet. So
yeah, I feel bad for these guys. They're going to roll into Ann Arbor around 8 a.m. How about that? Game will end around 11:30. By the time you get on the plane, it's 1:30. I don't know, 2 o'clock, 3 in the morning, So anyway, so it's a long, nasty trip. But luckily they got the bye week. I'm sure that's how they did the scheduling. They wouldn't have made them do that if they had to play next week because they'd be a whole full day behind.
Hopefully they get on a nice charter and they're able to stretch out, maybe take a nap on the way home.
Yeah, but we got to play, man. All right, Danny, you ready for the film?
I am. I want to tell everyone about two things. One, I want to thank Quick Cut for the ability to Scar to get in there and do the film analysis. Quick Cut, thank you very much. And I also want to remind people, like I do every week, that if you like to get the Michigan discussion and keep it going all day, all night, well, we are a part of Rivals.com. We're the Maize and Blue Review. That's what we're doing. We're talking Michigan all day, all night over there. Go there. You can get full access right now. Recruiting, the features, football, everything that you want there. If you're a Michigan fan, all in one nice, slick site. Go to michigan.rivals.com. So we will see you over there. And now, Scar, I am ready to go through it and see what you have to say.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm a tradition guy for whatever school you're coaching at. And I wonder if PJ got the Michigan job. Is he going to bring these boats and these oars over to Michigan? We got Minnesota has their traditions they had for 100-some years. I just have a question with that. The boat, the rowing, and bringing your stuff in, opposed to the history and tradition of the school. That's just my thing. I'm not a real big believer in that.
Well, I hear you, Scar. I really like PJ Fleck actually as a coach, but when he was at Western, I really liked him, and I really was like, row the boat really in there, and then he rowed the boat right to Minneapolis, and then he was acting like now that was their thing. But you see the other thing he was bringing? I know you coaches, you guys are looking for every little advantage you can, but they brought the rubber pellets from their own field, and they're dumping it down there on the Michigan field so they could feel at home. So that was weird.
Well, I didn't know that, but I don't know. Anyway, no, the guy's a good coach. I like him. He's everything I think you need as a coach. He's just he's a smart guy. He's a winner, and I'd rather keep the traditions and things. Anyway, so here you are, TJ guy starting the game. Wink is running a lot. Wink mixes it up, man. I love the guy. He mixes it up. You don't know what you're getting. In fact, PJ gave him a great compliment. That he's really difficult to go against. He's problematic. You don't know what the hell he's doing. So this is our nickel package. Now I was concerned because Minnesota can run the football, and this is how Wink came out, and they kind of ran it in there a little bit. And I think our linebacker's a little screwed up. But this is this is the thing you do as a coach. You look at film, and I'm looking at Hausman here, 15. He's inside backer here. It's like, what is he keying? Why is he not in his gap? Because the ball ends up hitting here, but is he feeling the back? Is he feeling the block, the guard blocking down? Is he feeling this tight end coming across? But all that stuff is work. He's trying to diagnose, but that's the thing about linebackers. See how he steps to the wrong gap?
Yeah.
You make one. He's got to make that split-second decision. He's feeling the tight end. He's looking at the mesh point. All these things he's reading. And, the down block, the mesh point, the scouting report. What do they do in that formation? What's the down and distance? All those things are going through his mind, and he jumps to the wrong gap. So now there's no one in this gap. So they rip us in there a little bit. I'm just looking at the little things, and trying to coach it up here, trying to coach you up a little bit.
What should he have done? Should he have been reading?
What should he have done it's an interesting question. This is what you have to do as a coach. You got to get your players' keys figured out on Sunday. What are you keying? Because it isn't always the same thing in every defense you run. It isn't the same thing in every formation the offense is running. It changes. And it's constantly changing for a linebacker. You might be this formation that you might key it, try to feel the tackle or the back, or this formation. It's changes. So he obviously. My point is he's stepping to the right of this lineman instead of stepping here. And the answer is, I'd like to know how he's keying it. You got it. Anyway, this was nice by Wink. Now here's the next play, or here's 3rd and 6. Now he's showing 5 at the line of scrimmage. He's showing 5. And what do we do in this? We do a lot of things. We'll bring him. We'll drop him. What does Wink do? He brings the inside backer and he drops this edge guy right to where we need to be. So he drops Hausman, and they're not. Are they expecting that? Probably not. But Wink guessed right. Now you have to ask yourself this, Denny. Is it guessing right, or is it Wink doing his homework? 3rd and 6, down in distance. Where's the ball? What's the formation? What does PJ like to do? Those are all the things that's going through a coordinator's head. When you're coaching defense, you don't just pull stuff out of your out of a hat. So. Yeah, and I think some of that is just good prediction and getting a beat on what the guy's doing, man, based on tendencies. And here's Alex. What's the down and distance? 3rd and 9. What's this end up being? They got 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. Ends up being a 1-back set, and he makes it happen. This is what we want. More of this. We want them quivered in their boots like. When we were playing Alabama, man, the biggest problem was when, there's no one open and the guy steps up in the pocket. See, I'd like to see this right here, Denny. See how he looks like straight drop? And then I'd like to make it look like draw and him foul a linebacker right through. Alabama runs a ton of that. A lot of these spread guys with their running quarterback run that play. You saw he could just foul him right in there? Anyway, this is dangerous stuff. No one's open. Take off and run. All right, Denny. A couple of our listeners were talking about trying to get Mullings and Donovan in the game at the same time in the backfield. And if you remember what old Scar said, I don't like the formation because we're going to be a 20-handed team. You know what I mean by that? If Donovan and Mullings are in the game, we ain't running behind 7, which is kind of sad to say that we can't run behind the guy, but that's just the fact. So we execute this play, but I would like to see us be able to run a play where we can run behind Donovan too. So we put Donovan in motion. Okay, he started the play off over here, and he went in motion. This play kind of starts late. So let's run it, and then we run power back away from the motion. So we kick out with Mullins, and then we pull the backside guard. Okay, so with the we came out in a one-back set, but with the motion, we end up in a two-back set, right? You follow me, Denny? Which is what some of the people were calling for. Let's have both of them in the game. But like I said, the problem with both those two in the game is we're going to be a 20-handed team, meaning we're going to run to 20 side, and that defenses can see that, and they can play defense accordingly. But we are successful here. Anyway, we get a nice down block by our tight end. We get a nice kick out by Mullings. Our guard, Gio's kicking, running through there. And the only guy that I would like to see is, if you watch Hinton here, Hinton's on track. This is why I like this play, and this is why Jim likes this play, and Sharon. Then these are easy blocks. All these guys are doing is just staying on track. They're blocking down. If somebody slants into them, they block them. But I'd like to see Hinton come and pick up this backer here. See how he just misses them there? But we still execute it. We rip them for 6 yards. I just like the play, how it's run. And this is great. This is Loveland in the game. The kid's still banged up. You can see he's still hurt.
Yeah.
But we can do this. We can throw him the football and then just try to land on your good shoulder. So this is great for Alex to do this kind of stuff. He's still a matchup problem. So these are short routes, and that's what we got to be able to do. I like this concept, Denny. This is what's the down and distance, 2nd and 10. We're pulling a guard away. We have the back go away, and we run the screen back this way. This is something I don't remember seeing so much. We got 17 in the game right here. We're going to throw a screen pass to him, coming back away from the false pull. This is a false pull, Danny. You pull guys this way. There's a ton of that going on in college football now, more so than we've seen in years. A whole lot of false pulls going away from where the play is. So you got a guard pulling, your back pulling, and here you run screen away from it. And we got to do a better job on this kid here. I think maybe, I don't know if Hinton should be working to get this linebacker instead of going upfield. This kid ends up making the play. So those are decisions you have to make on the fly. I don't know how he's coached on it, but it's a well executed play. I like it because it's creative and it creates conflict with the false pull. Here's unbalanced. What's the down and distance? 3rd and 1. So we've got just 2 guys to this side of the center. Everybody else is over here. There's a lot of things we could run with this. Let's see what we run. Oh, this play should have been a dead play. This kid's unblocked. Oh yeah, this is the play where we'll look at it. I think again, this is just like last week. I think Alex's presence in the game, Denny, is a factor on this touchdown. Because the mesh point, he's reading. This is his gap, but for some reason he doesn't fly out of there. He doesn't go to his gap. He should be coming here and killing this gap. And he doesn't do that. And he misses it, and it's a touchdown. And the other view is a better look at it. All right, so Joel's drawing something up. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. It's got nothing to do with that. The bottom line is the linebacker is confused. And I don't think he's confused. I just think he's in conflict. Okay, right there at the mesh point, this linebacker, this is his gap. Okay, but he's thinking maybe I got to step out with Alex, and just that little bit of hesitation, see how he's looking. He's still not sure. He's hesitating. You see that hesitation? Touchdown. Again, I think that's Alex's presence in the game.
We call that
conflict. It's called conflict. He's reading the mesh point, and again, if this is Cade McNamara in the game, I don't think you're having that conflict. on the mesh point. You follow me?
Oh yeah.
So he's the linebacker is feeling it, and still another half-ass fake. Get out there and take 4 steps. Alex, run out here. Pull that defense over here like you got the ball. That's weak, but it's still a touchdown. But you follow me there?
Yeah, I feel like I could have ripped off 5-6 yards on that one.
Minnesota saw one thing about, I think, Wink is you're going to see a lot of screen against Michigan because we do a lot of pressures, especially to the short side of the field. I left some stuff for Jerry, but Danny, a lot of people are screening us on the short side of the field. Wink likes to bring pressure. Wink likes to bring pressure from the short side. If the ball's on the hash, this hash.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Yeah.
And I think people like to screen us to the short side of the field. He knows it, and PJ knows it. And we got to tackle this guy. That's too much. Scarred nickel. I thought we were a little too much nickel. I was worried about it, man, because this PJ wants to run the ball, man. But then when they have success throwing, but you got to ask yourself, Danny, why is this play a long run against us? The average guy look at it and say, oh, I don't know. They're whatever. Blame. I don't know who you're going to blame. But the biggest problematic guy here is our 3 technique. Because then in our defense, we have a 1 technique place inside the guard. That's where Mason Graham, he's lined up inside the guard. He's got the A gap. He's punching into the guard from the inside between the center guard gap. That's the 1 technique. The 3 technique is playing into the guard from between the guard and tackle. Okay, but both of them, Denny, they got to try to keep the linebackers free. They can't let these guards get off on our backers. Okay, the objective of the defense is to keep these guys free so they can flow, these linebackers. You got it? So big fellas got to play in the guard so linebackers can flow and make plays. So here's Benny. Benny has got to play into the guard and stay connected so this guard can't get off on this backer. But he lets him off on him. See how this guard gets to the backer?
Yeah.
Benny has to do one of 2 things. He has to stay connected. Here's how I coached it. You got to do one of 2 things. You either stay connected to this guard so he can't get off on that backer, or you make the play if he's going to go get to the backer. You follow me? So Benny he's got 2 choices. Either you keep that linebacker free or you make the football play and not let this tackle cut you off. You can't let this tackle cut him off. He's got to stay connected to the guard. Ideally, make both of them block him. Stay connected. You watch Mason Graham to the top. Mason Graham is doing a great job. He's got 2 guys occupied on him. Anyway, that's why that play, I guarantee you, Espo and Wink, they're looking at the 3 technique. You got to try to keep our backer free. So we're in a 5-1 here. What's it down in distance? 3rd and 8. Again, Wink mixing it up. Who's coming? Who's dropping? Nice deal there. Did he anticipate this screen? Is this little hill down here? This kid's getting better. Look at him read this thing. Beats the block.
Yeah, buries him.
So,
Shug Hill.
That's Wink does a lot of stuff, man. You got to be smart to play defense for Michigan because we are doing a lot of things, man, to try to confuse the offense. So we get a stop there. Anticipate down and distance. So here's 1st and 15. Now, again, Denny, I'm looking at formations. I'm looking where the ball is. I'm looking at down and distance. I think Wink anticipated by formation what this team wanted to do. So he calls the perfect defense. We don't execute it as perfectly as I would have liked. This edge guy needs to get more width because we're running a stunt. We're bringing him under. The edge player should be upfield. And he gets pinned in, and he gets outside of it. I mean, we can kill him for a negative play, but this thing should have been in the end zone. We should have been ripping them back here on the 3-yard line. Anyway, I'm giving credit to Wayne because I think he's seeing where's the ball, what's the down and distance, what's the formation, what does PJ like to do? He calls the right stunt. I don't think this is just guessing. Danny, I watched my old films when I played, and occasionally I'll pull it out, and when you're a young kid, you don't really know what we did or why we did it. But after I became a coach, I started looking at the film. I'm like, Gary Moeller was how I realized how smart Gary Moeller was when I became a coach. And I started looking at our old films. You follow me?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because anyway, this is a huge play. We get a strip here. Let's take it from the top. What's the down and distance? 2nd and 18. Kind of got a big cushion there. Anyway,
Turnover in the red zone. Let's go.
This is just a great job by Barry here. This is Barry.
Zeke Berry, yeah.
Yeah, he's and Denny, this stuff is coached up, man. Great job. Way to get excited because we work on it. We work on this stuff. It's worked on. It's one of the pillars. Remember the 4 pillars?
I don't have them.
Ball disruption is one of them.
Okay.
One of them is ball disruption. You can't have, if you emphasize 4 things, okay, you don't want to emphasize 30 because you don't get 30. You emphasize 4, you get 4. So they work on it in practice. They work on this a lot. I've seen it. They work on it, and he's ripping it out of there. And it paid off. All that work paid off.
What do you tell your kids, Scar, the fine line between punching it out and trying to rip it out? And
it depends on where when you arrive on the scene, you don't know what's going to be the best opportunity, as the second guy in. Sometimes you can punch it. Sometimes you can strip it. Depends on, where are you coming from? How's he carrying it? You got to, but you do it enough in practice. It's second nature. So here you got CJ in the game. 2 backs in the game. They got 8 guys in the box. And we're running the football 1st and 10. And they just, we just can't make a living on hoping Mullings makes guys miss. You see this? Again, he makes guys miss.
Yeah, I was more impressed with Mullins. They had some of those. He puts a shimmy and a shake on that guy at 6'2". I mean, we knew he could run for daylight. He's got pretty good speed. He can break tackles, and then he showed his ability to shake somebody there. I like that.
This play's well executed. I'm kind of wondering how they're coaching our guard. Anyway, Klein is a stud. I'm happy to see he's Scooney, man. This kid's going to play in the NFL. Scooney is what 17 is. He's a Michigan tight end. You got Gentry getting him reps. He will block down. And Denny, I've stood next to Gentry in Big Hinton. Okay, those dudes are both like 6'6", 6'7", probably about 340, 330. Those dudes are massive. And watch what they do to this kid here. I don't want to be taking on double team from these 2 guys. No way. So they got Marshall in the game, but remember I told you he's going to be a backside guy until he gets better? You know what I mean? He's away from the action. So but you don't want to always be that guy away from where the action is. You want to be able to run to him one day. You follow me?
Yeah.
Anyway, we get a great double team by Gentry and Hinton. And we're going to clean them out. And I'm looking at our guard. Now, normally we just kick out. We come flat down the ass of 17 and we kick out. Okay? But he's working with width, and I'm wondering how they're coaching this. But you see how he's kind of like he's trying to reach him, Denny? Normally it's just kick him out, but they're coaching it up. They want him to get like upfield shoulder. And Bredesen, I'm wondering how they're coaching this because he's got the upfield shoulder. Bredesen is working inside, but Mullings takes that hard jab like he wants to widen this thing, make him think he's coming out wide. And then he cuts up underneath. So maybe that stuff is coached, or they want to give the running back two options, or it's predetermined that, because we had this play in it. I had it in as a coach where you do two things. Sometimes you kick out with the guard, and sometimes we call it log them. You reach them. And this may be a predetermined call where they're going to try to reach him, and Mullings knows that you can bounce it outside. And but he takes it back inside. So he probably has the option, but he's reading it and it's blocked. But I wanted to just point this out. Take a look at what Hinton and Gentry are doing to this kid. Watch what these guys do to this kid right here. I don't want to take double team on from those guys. Look where they put him.
In the end zone.
They're just crushing it. That's a lot of dude right there, man. With Gentry and Hinton.
That looked like last year's Michigan offensive line, that play.
Yeah, they just look how they're moving them out of there. So anyway, that's a well-executed play.
Bigfoot.
Here we go. We got Mason Graham inside. We got a four-man front. And Danny, I said this sometimes. What's the down and distance? 3rd and 11. Sometimes you just say, you know what? We ain't showing nothing. We ain't stunting. We're not doing nothing. But Wink does give Mason Graham an inside go here, meaning he can take an inside rush on the guard. Because normally you got to rush your gap. So he'd have to rush this gap between the guard and tackle. Okay. But he's been rushing outside, and now you give him an inside go, and he beats him clean. See how he beats that guard?
Yep.
He takes an inside go on him. And that's just a vanilla rush, but you gave him an inside go, and he gets home. This kid's playing great football. See that? Beat him with speed. Line up on the outside eye, and then slap across the face. That's a great job. I got the special team coach, JB. This is a good job. This is a poor job by Minnesota protecting. We got 8 up. One on the gunner here, and one guy deep. They don't have enough guys blocking. We got 5 on our left. We got 5 guys rushing, and they only got 3 dudes over here, and then maybe this guy here could come over. Their scheme is weak. But we do a great job, and you cut them loose. Sharon Moore said, you hate to do it sometimes. You get the roughing the punter, then you get pissed off. You don't want to rush a block a punt anymore. But we work on it. We execute. We got them outmanned. It's a great scheme. And this kid here, we got 3 guys. It's hard to see from here, but our inside guy, he has to make sure he takes an inside go on this guy. You don't want to come out here because he'll fan out. But anyway, this guy right here from Minnesota, this kid right here, he's got 3 guys coming at him right now. You got to pick one of them. You should start with the inside and work out. But he doesn't do that. He blocks. He lets 52 go free. He should work inside out. You follow me, Denny? If you're going to leave somebody, you leave the outside guy, not the quickest route to the punter. So he, instead of blocking 52, who's in here, he steps out. And 52 does a great job. 52 is who, Danny?
52 for Michigan is Keyshawn Bennett.
Yeah, he might be getting more clock if we don't get Josiah Stewart back, but they didn't play him.
Sounds like Bennett's going to be okay. Sounds like everybody is going to be okay, with the exception of McBurrows, who sounds like he's going to be out for an extended period.
All right, so this starts a little late, but this kid for Minnesota blocked him instead of 52. He should have blocked inside out and make the guy come further off the edge. But what I like from Bennett is if he doesn't block the punt, he's in a position where he's not going to hit the punter, and you see the ball in, and he does a good job there. And him and these guys are coached up. They're in their lane is they're not going to hit the punter if they don't block it. this stuff is all worked on. See how they go. It's just good stuff. Good job by our special team coach.
JB Brown.
Yeah, what do I got here? More. I want to see more of this. Easy stuff. We can run that in on 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that looked easy.
So I'm calling for more of that stuff. What's the down and distance? 1st and 10. 21-point lead. We got a punt block. We stripped one, and now we're going to pick one off. This kid's doing real good. He's getting better, man. He's settled in. That's your boy Hill. What do you call him?
Shug.
Is that what they call him?
That's what they call him. Yeah, Shug.
Okay, Shug making it happen. He's throwing it up there, a prayer. They got the big tall receiver, and our guy position. Good, he's coached up. He's in there. He's got the right position on him. Get excited, man. Good job. Bull rush, 2-point stance by 52. So they're letting him 1st and 10. They're letting Mason Graham get in a 2-point stance at times. So probably this is just going to be another vanilla rush. And he just bulls this kid right back into the quarterback. So earlier, Denny, he beat that guard with an inside move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just going to take this kid and just stuff him right back into the quarterback. You just get your helmet right under his chin and all that bench press, all that squatting, and you just walk him right back to the quarterback. So he had a good game. There's two big plays. Watch what he does here. That's just,
Yeah, that's NFL stuff. Why is he in the 2-point stance rather than the down?
Well, Denny, that's what it gives you a little, every player is different in terms of some of the pass rush stuff, what they like, what stance they like. And I think it's Wink is giving them the option. And
it throws a different look at the offensive line.
It makes it easier. It makes it easier to stunt and do some things. Obviously, you're not going to play run as well because you're higher, but it's going to give you advantages to rushing the quarterback. You'll be able to, if they want to work a stunt, with him here and him here, or just doing what he's doing here. There's advantages to being up. That's just great technique. Great job. How do I get him circled? Yeah, big cushion. 3rd and 10. I don't know why. See, certain defenses, Denny, you got help and some you don't. And I think in this defense, we're cheating the safety over this way more or down the middle. He doesn't have help. He knows it. So he has a bigger cushion than these guys at the top. So that's why they complete that long pass. That's number 12. That's a big cushion, but again, he knows he probably doesn't have help in this coverage.
Right.
Some coverages you got help over the top and you got to know it as a player. That's Benny there. Good. So we got some pressure on this team.
What are they doing? They're rocking the baby?
I guess that's the deal, man. So he's working pass rush drill. We got pressure from all over there. All right, Scar, tall hoopers. Denny, what I used to do here is I like to bring a big tall the tall guy, the jumper, whoever. Sometimes they weren't even defensive players. At least one of those guys in the game. So I'll give PJ credit. This is a great job of coaching here. To complete the pass, but then to get the kick team on the field is just that's coached up. Those are things you work on, and they got it done, man. There's communication. So again, I used to bring the tallest kid on my team that was a basketball guy, a tight end type guy. I'd put him in there and put him on the goal line. So he'd go up and get this and knock it down. But they got a big tight end. He out-jumps our guys. But that's half the battle. I'm thinking this thing's over. How are they going to get a punt team on the field?
Oh, shouldn't the ref allow Michigan also to bring their personnel in if they're swapping out their
I
personnel?
mean, there's no timeouts, Denny. You got no timeouts. All they got to do is
No,
move it.
I know they don't have any timeouts, but
Well,
if
no, we don't want to. It's
now
not a matter. We don't want to switch personnel, but they got enough time for them to move the chains. That's how much time they got to move the chains. So hopefully, see, this is where you need, Denny. This is where you need the home field guys that are fast on the chains. You want to see them sprinting down there. You follow me?
I hear you.
But
Yes, the two things that I'm thinking there is, they can't go to review because then you're stopping the game and you're allowing them to get set, right? So that's why they didn't go to the review. Although if they did go to review, I think they would have, they probably should have gone to review there. So I don't, and did they let the clock run then?
It was actually our advantage. It was our advantage that they just called it quick because it was a good catch and that he had to be quick to get his extra point team on the field that quick. I mean, I just give the guy credit. Not a lot of teams are going to do that. They're going to have some big lineman not paying attention.
Klatt thought he should have gone for a touchdown there, but you like the field goal.
Yeah, well, whatever. He made that decision, but no, I mean, no, I could live with either way on that.
Yeah, all right.
It actually makes more sense to go for it because how many people can get their kick team on the field that quick? But anyway, here's number 10. They're bringing pressure from the backside. Why am I pointing him out? Well, I'm just pointing him out because I think it's again more. It's pressure. They always want to put pressure on our guy, and we got to be able to hit these passes, man. Those are easy passes. We got to be able to hit the little 5-yard outcut, the little 5-yard slants. We got to be able to make and complete those passes. All right, here's the mesh point. This is the stuff I'm calling for. Okay, what was it before the snap? Let's take a look at the formation. All right, one back. They're in a 3-and-1 formation, 3-and-1, one back in the game. We got jet motion. We can do a lot of stuff here. What do? So we got jet going this way, or we got quarterback keep going. We got quarterback power going back this way. That's what we got.
A false.
Well, it could be. I mean, it might be quarterback power. I don't know the play yet, but this kid's right in the middle. He don't know what it is. He's reading the mesh point. So what's the play? Yeah, they kill it. We don't block it good. Donovan should take this thing outside. Why is he cutting it inside? I mean, this kid our guy is working for an upfield shoulder. Take the thing out here. We got him blocked. Why are you going in there? Well, I don't know. Picked up a couple yards. Seemed like we could have got some more if we got outside because it looks like that's what the Mullings has looked like. He's working for his upfield shoulder. Doesn't he look like that?
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I don't know how they're coaching it.
You got to block for the wide receiver out there, O'Leary, too. Yeah.
Yeah, here's that same concept again. Motion to both these guys in the backfield. Again, we're 20-handed. I guarantee you, Denny, I mean, I'm not telling these people anything they don't see. I saw it right away. If they're both in the game, because they motioned Donovan to this, I guarantee you they're running back here to well, wait a minute. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. What are we doing here? Yeah, we are. We're still 20-handed. We're running, even though we went, it still ends up being that we are 20-handed. Because now Mullings is leading out. We're running that same play we ran earlier in the game. And we're ripping them. It's well executed. But, Denny, when we can, I mean, teams are going to see this. Okay, if you're scouting Michigan and you see Donovan in motion, they're going to know the play's coming back to 20. But we got to be able to run the ball back here with Donovan kicking out. And now they're going to, because now you got him in conflict. You follow me?
Yeah.
You can't just be 20-handed, or you can't always run behind 17. But that's a well-executed play. This is away from the defense, away from the defender. He's got to throw this ball away from the defender. Okay, in basketball, Denny, you play basketball. You know, on the entry pass, I had all of Coach K's basketball film when I was coaching basketball. And I always remember him talking about when you're passing the entry into your post player, you don't pass it to your guy, you pass it away from the defender. You pass the ball to your teammate away from the defender. And here, and Joel was right on this. You got to throw the ball, away from the defender. That ball should have been thrown over in here toward the hash. Throws it inside there toward the defender. Make our guy adjust. So that's a mistake. Throw it over in here. He drifts inside, lets this kid make a play. That's a poorly thrown ball. He knows it. The kid knows it.
Yeah.
We got to do a better job reading these screens. I think, especially Michigan, I think people want to screen us to the short side of the field. I talked about that because Wink likes bringing pressure from the short side. But our defensive lineman got to read this, Denny. When you're rushing and a lineman crosses your face, like that just happened there, he's got to feel that. They rep this in practice. Benny's got to, why is this guy crossing my face? Why are these dudes coming out here? He should be coming right down here now and feeling it. And they call it, retracing your tracks. Coming right back in there and getting it from, he could have made, he does a decent job. But I've seen him make the play, we've seen him make the play, back in here for no gain. Follow me? So he made a decent job, but it's not as good as it's been.
He's got good speed.
Yeah. Anyway, 24-3. This is the number one play that made this a football game, and it's, he's not grabbing his damn face mask. He called it, but it is what it is. It's 4th and 11. Man. And it's the same BS against like we had against USC. You get that, you get him stopped. Kenny Grant gets the fumble, and now we're back on the field. And he gave it back to him. And now here we are, 4th and 11. This is mentally tough. Mentally tough. Now you're going to go back out and play defense. You got him stopped, and then you get this penalty. I don't know. Is it a good call?
Well, it wasn't a good call if you look at the review because it looked like you could tell why they call it because the guy bent back his face and his hand was up there close to his chin. You kind of get, even though it wasn't, it looked like it.
All right, we're not gap sound here. This is a 3-and-1 formation. They got 3 guys here. This is a run formation, and we're not gap sound. They got the back set this way. 3 guys in tight. That's all run, and we're not gap sound. We got an A gap player. We got a B gap player. Now this is Barham. He should be playing inside control of this kid. And he plays outside of it for some reason because there's nothing in here. If he works outside, that's exactly where they go. He should work with inside control. He should be in which ends up being the you gotta. It ends up being like a C gap right there. It's not gap sound. Too easy. This is how I think we're coaching it, Denny. This is our punt coverage team. I think these 2 guys are gunners. They don't have contain. They go right for the ball. I don't think they have responsibility for keeping the ball inside or outside the defense. I think that's how it's coached up. I think our tackles are contained. I think our guards are probably working down the hash mark. Our center's probably going right to the ball. You follow me on this?
I'm following you. Yep. I want to see it.
This is how I think. This is how I coached it. I told you I got my punt protection from John Harbaugh when he was at Cincinnati Bearcats. But we've been pretty good on this, and let's look at it. We got our gunners are coming down, but you don't want to come down in waves. This is you have lateral seams. You'd like to have, your gunners, the first one's down, and then you'd like to have your other 5 guys, spaced out in a flat wall. You follow me?
All right.
But we got this guy down here. He's out of the, he's not in the mix. So now there's a seam. There's a lateral seam. So you see how we look? Sometimes when you're a coverage guy, you just have to get a feel for where you're supposed to be. This guy still hasn't got off the block. Okay, he's still letting this guy block him too long. You got to get off the damn block when you're covering punts. And sometimes you have to nose a guy up. This player right here, when the ball carrier is right in front of you, sometimes you got to nose the guy up, but he comes underneath. See, I would have taken him and tried to smash this guy right into the punter. Take him and work and just try to bull rush him. So you can you can go either way and come off it. And now there's a seam in there. They get these guys blocked. We're coming down in waves. So there's that seam with that guy that was getting held up over here. This guy. There's a little seam on the cutback. And I remember Bo used to talk about telling our punter, Don Bracken, that he wanted to have him. He actually did it. He would have him put him in tackling drills every now and then with the defensive backs, because you got to be an open field tackler. This is your punter right here, and I'm sure they work on it. You don't want to get him banged up in practice, but I think his effort is huge in slowing this thing down to give us a chance. But it's not great coverage. All right, let's take a look. This kid's a flat-out stud. That was a great move, great decision, great scouting. Go identify the right player and get him here. Danny, you talk about this team making this comeback. I mean, the kid made some throws. Look at this narrow window. Hey, tip your hat. Here's 42 bringing pressure. Guy. Good job by him. He's doing good.
Helmet came off. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't call that though.
No.
What do we got here? 3rd and 10, minute 52 left. Can't let them take the inside, man. I mean, you just don't do it. You got to take away the inside. Then it's like basketball, man. You keep your body when you're playing defensive basketball. You keep your body between your ball and the rim, right? The rim is here. He's got to stay inside of him. Make him work an outcut. Don't give him the easy one right over the middle. So he lets him pump fake him outside, and then he cuts inside. You can't do that. That's way too much. That's technique. He's got to know. You got to know that. Okay, we're rushing 3. Again, Wink likes this in the red zone, but we just got to get better at feeling this thing.
This is a great catch.
Kid makes a great throw, and this is a great catch.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not trying.
No.
Kid makes a great throw, man.
It's
not like that's not Eastern Michigan over there, man. I thought this was outlawed, but I guess I'm not quite sure what the hell the rules are anymore. These dudes are just drilling our guy. I thought that they ended some of this stuff. See these guys right here just kill our guy?
But they got to wait 10 yards before they contact him. And one of them does not. Boom. Right there, 43.
Anyway, we got to work on it. We get they make a mistake. And this is one of those plays, Denny, that it's like some of the quarterback read stuff. You just can't get it in practice. Full go drilling guys. When I was playing,
it looked like the wrong call when they reviewed it. It looked like
yeah.
Denny,
when I was playing, we had an onside kick. We put the ball right here in the middle, and we put 5 guys on each side of the kicker, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5, and all of us just drilled anything that showed up, and the kicker would dribble it 10 yards, and he would recover the kick. You follow me? That was before they changed the rules.
Well,
we would literally send 10 dudes to just decapitate anybody that was up in here.
Well, I think you could still do that as long as you wait, as long as it's 10 yards.
Well, anyway, see how they're again drilling this guy, but this is.
I think there was a lot of people that thought that it was an illegal touching. They thought that this guy touched the ball, and I don't see conclusive video evidence. I know a lot of people. I know that's a Michigan thing that a lot of people are saying that it would have been reviewed, but I don't find that to be irrefutable video evidence. But I do think that they blocked before the ball went 10 yards, and I do think that would have been a penalty on Minnesota. So that's my thoughts on that. A lot of people.
Anyway, you talk about player safety. I don't like the idea that those guys can get a 10-yard running start and just knock the hell out of somebody getting ready to catch a ball. So anyway, we got to keep getting better, man. We're 4-1, and we can't give them 20, Denny. We can't give them 20 points. We got to play great defense. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 away. Sure as hell, I can't screw around in the kick game. And if Alex just secures the ball, we got a chance.
That sounds like a good game plan to me, Scar. I'm waiting. You're up on Saturday night. You better get a little nap in during the day so you're ready to go after the game.
I'll be ready, man. We want that plane ride. Danny, I remember that plane ride back. We lost to him at last second BS back in '83. But I remember that plane ride back. We got on the plane and a couple guys were talking. I don't know, whatever the hell they were talking, but we lost a tough game. Bo heard a little talking back there. He got up and he made sure that we knew there was going to be no levity, no talking, no communicating. And it was a 4-hour nothing. Bo set the tone, man. Ain't no talking, ain't no screw. He was pissed off. Everybody was pissed, but
that's a quiet plane ride home.
Yeah, I don't want that. You want celebrating. You want submarine sandwiches and happiness.
Yeah, you want it to be a lit plane ride home. I'm all about that. All right, Scar.
All right, Danny, go blue.
There he is, Jim Scarcelli. How about punch up the like button on the podcast? We appreciate that. We like the 5